Hit it. Whose house?
Sports House.
Hello everybody, welcome to Sports House. I'm your host JT, and today we're going to talk about my thoughts on WrestleMania 42. So the first match of WrestleMania 42 was the Usos and LA Knight versus The Vision and ISO Speed. One thing I want to say is I'm glad they brought back the Usos theme song, Jey Uso's theme song, and didn't use the new theme song, because when they used the new theme song on Raw, it was critically hated by the fans. So it's a good thing they listened to and brought it back. And also, I like how they put mixtures from the new theme song into Jey Uso's theme song, so they can still use parts of it, so it won't be like a waste of time. And also, I like how the Vision came out there with the banner, and how ISO Speed had that cape. He looked like he was a part of the group and not just an outsider. But he did better than I thought he was going to do, because I thought ISO Speed was just going to sit there on the apron and just be like a person on the outside, like a manager type. But he actually got some moves in, which I'm impressed. And he did a top rope move too, which is actually kind of good for a YouTuber. So ISO Speed, good celebrity. That's a good job bringing him into the storyline. And in the end, the Usos and LA Knight won. And I think they did that match good. The next match is the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. That match could have been a little longer than they had it. The storyline, the build was good leading up to WrestleMania 42. And also, I like how they had Jacob Fatu winning, because with Jacob Fatu winning, that gives him momentum, setting up for like a future match with Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu for the title, which God should help him. I just got a question is, what are they going to do with Drew McIntyre from here? Because he had the loss at WrestleMania, but also you can have many storylines with Drew. You can maybe have another Curry Road Drew McIntyre match. I don't advise it though, but you can have another one. Or you can have him going off into a tag team division. You never know. Next match is the Women's Tag Team Championship match. In that match, there was Bayley and Liv Valkyria, Brie Bella and a returning Paige, Nia Jackson, Last Legend, and also Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. That was also a good match. It could have been a little longer, but still, they brought back Paige, which is also a good major W for WWE, because bringing back Paige enhances the storyline and also gives them a possibility, because how they going to put Nikki Bella back into this tag team with Brie Bella when she's healed from her injury? Are they going to have Paige turning on them? Or are they going to have some type of heel turn and Nikki Bella fighting Paige, which would be a good match? I think they could do that. But in the end, Brie Bella and Paige won it. And congratulations to them. And that was just overall a good match. Next we're going to talk about is Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Gunther versus Seth Rollins was a matchup between two great wrestlers. And that's also a good pivot, because the original plans, as we all know, was supposed to be Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. But Braun Breaker got hurt on Monday Night Raw, so they had to pivot from that. So they brought in Gunther, which is a good option. So then you have them wrestle a match, which is obviously going to be a great match. They was wrestling good so far, and they had a great match until Braun Breaker returned and interrupted the match. That return was done perfectly, and that sets up a Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker match. And in the end, Seth Rollins won it though, by disqualification. Next up on the card was the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan defeats Stephanie Valkyrie for it. That match was also an overall great match. That's another match that could have been longer though. Especially that match right there, with Liv Morgan and Stephanie Valkyrie. Because I felt like they didn't have enough of Stephanie Valkyrie offensive moves during the match. Because she had a lot of talent she could have showcased in her first WrestleMania match versus Liv Morgan. Because overall, Liv Morgan's a great wrestler. They could have put up a 5-star match. They could have stolen the show. I just felt like they brought out Judgment a little too early and ending that match a little too early. And also, they had Liv Morgan winning the championship by Judgment Day cheating a little bit. And I think that's a great win for Liv Morgan. And I just decided to see how they're going to continue with her title reign. Another match is the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Becky Lynch beat AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. Also, what I think with AJ Lee is she's going to take another break, because I see why they had her lose the title. I would, because if she would have stayed, I would have never had her lose that title. I would have had her have another feud with somebody else. But since she lost that title, that sets up opportunity for her to run a break with CM Punk. And so they can have fun and like on the break. But also, with Becky Lynch, how they going to have her in her title reign, and what is she going to do for the next opponent? Who her next opponent is going to be? These questions for WWE, but they'll figure it out. Now the main event for the Undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes ended up retaining in a messy finish. But one thing I think all of us agree on, and all of us really liked, is how they brought out Pat McAfee and took him out the match early. Because leading up to WrestleMania, we all knew that could be one of the best matches on the show or one of the worst matches on the show. Just because one X Factor, Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, when he came over there and helped Randy Orton, not everybody liked it. We all saw it as a TKO move or as a director pushing, interrupting the creative team. And another thing I have with it is the original plans was for Aleister Black to talk to Cody Rhodes and turn him heel. Actually, no, talk to Randy Orton, my fault. Because it's going to be Randy Orton versus Aleister Black on night one. And then Aleister Black was going to win because Randy Orton hesitated to hit a Punk kick. And then it was going to have Cody Rhodes versus an opponent. And at the end of that match, Randy Orton was going to turn bad guy and hit the Punk kick on Cody. But no, they went with the Pat McAfee decision because TKO said they had to. But overall, they took him out the match at first. Jay Rowe came out there, slammed him to the table. A good start to the match. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes did their thing throughout the whole match. Until Pat McAfee came back out there in a net base, in a referee uniform. I still wonder how he got it. He came out there, counted the 3 count for Randy Orton. But also, he counted a really slow 3 count. I think they could have made him count a little fast one. Like 1, 2, and Cody Rhodes kick out. Or a rope break or something. But they had Pat McAfee come out there as a referee. But then after that, Cody Rhodes kicked out. Randy Orton RKO'd Pat McAfee. And then Cody Rhodes pinned Randy Orton. Okay. It wasn't even over after that either. He was just holding up the title. Randy Orton came back up there, hit Cody Rhodes with the title, and then Punk kicked him and gave him a little injury because after the match, Cody Rhodes posted on a social media channel showing his eye, and it was messed up because he actually got kicked in the eye. But we figured out on Raw he was alright, and he wouldn't have to be missing his eye, which is a possibility. But overall, night one was a good show. It was a very good show. I enjoyed it, and I'll give it like a B-. Okay, picking up on night 2, they kicked off for Oberfin versus Brock Lesnar. They executed that match perfectly. And it went how I imagined it in my head. Because I thought it was going to be I imagined it a sub 5-minute match. Under 5 minutes, because they did that with Goldberg, Brock Lesnar. It's just the thing is, I'm glad they didn't squash Oberfin or make him lose it. Because Oberfin, he had momentum. The fans enjoyed him throughout the build of WrestleMania. I don't see why you make him lose the match and then have him on a losing streak at WrestleMania. Nah, this could be a start of an Undertaker streak. So that's a good job from WWE. And then at the end of the match, Brock Lesnar retired, which is certainly surprising because there was talks about him retiring in his hometown at SummerSlam. But that was a great match. I like Oberfin winning, and I like how they handled Brock Lesnar's retirement. The next match was the ladder match. In that ladder match, there was JD McDonough, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, and Penta. Overall, Penta retained. That was a 5 out of 5 star match. They did that perfectly. There was concerns of them rushing into the match, but they had a great match. They showed Rusev strong, and they had Penta winning, which is a good job. So, that match was great. Next is the United States Championship match between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. Trick Williams came out there with Lil Yachty. He did his thing while he made his entrance. Sami Zayn came out there to a few boos, which is certainly surprising, but those boos him on the road to WrestleMania, so it's not that much surprising. Trick Williams won exactly how I thought it should have went. towards the new United States champion. Now they have a perfect opportunity to have a Trick Williams versus Carmella Hayes Part 3 for the United States Championship. They need to do that. In the street fight, we saw the return of the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I like that he brought back the Demon for WrestleMania. He won the match. It was a fun match to watch. And I enjoyed that he had the Demon out there. So overall, good job there, baby. Women's, next for the Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. What I think as I saw this match was just a match to get the title on Jade. Because they didn't handle Jade's title reign as good as they could have. Because they could have showcased Jade Cargill or something. They could have had her as like a strong champion, beating the opponents every single week for the title. But then they had her have one title defense and hold it to WrestleMania, which is a certainly mistake for WWE. Which they can come back from it, because they can have, if Bianca Belair gets back in time, they can have Jade versus Bianca, which we've all been waiting for. But Rhea Ripley won the title. I'm just waiting to see who Rhea Ripley's next challenger is going to be. Next up is the main event. Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Roman Reigns won the World Heavyweight Championship. 2-time World Champion. Now, with this match was a long match. But it wasn't a boring type long match. It was a fun type long match. Because you put in the ring two great wrestlers. Two experienced great wrestlers. You're going to get a 5-star match. And CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they both got great mic skills. They both are fan favorites. They both can wrestle. So that's obviously a major W. And you had them in the main event. They had WrestleMania entrances. They had hype. They had build. They just handled this rivalry great. And also, that rivalry with the... I'm going to go back to the build-up to the match. When CM Punk mentioned Roman Reigns' dead father, I thought they was going to take this to like a different intensity type level of the rivalry. I thought Roman Reigns was going to mention his dog, CM Punk's dead dog. But they didn't do that. But he did cut a good car promo, which was insanely great. So that kept the build up and the hype up. Overall, WrestleMania Sunday was just amazing. I give that an A+. Everybody, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.